Hello there, this is Ron Wills, and I'm coming back at you again with yet another video. Today I'm going to talk about why educated sisters get played. Yeah, yes, black women especially. Educated black women, you got a degree, all that, nice job. Y'all need to take notes on this one. And I'm going to say it from the rip, it's tough love, okay? Sometimes, as a wise older black woman told me one time, she said sometimes the best way to love somebody is to curse them out. So I'm saying this with love, y'all, and also just to address some issues because one of the things I've seen out here, I've seen it too much, and I respect education. I respect it. I mean, I just did a bunch of videos about educated brothers, but here's the issue. Here's the issue. Too many, not all, let me say, make that clear, not all, but too many black women in particular, they get that degree. And even if it's not a degree, I'm gonna add something in there, maybe just a high paying job, that requires some level of knowledge. They might not have the degree. Too many get arrogant. Too many get their noses up in the air. Too many think all of a sudden they better than whoever around them. Definitely better than some brothers, but even believe it or not, and wait, I know it. I don't even have to say believe it or not. Better than some of the sisters around, some young sisters. And you know, the reason I say many educated women get played, is really because of their arrogance. They let that degree blow their head up, their education blow their head up, instead of seeing it for what it is. It's job skills, you know. Because the vast majority of women who will get those degrees, I mean, they're using it to get a job. If you ask them to actually discuss something on a college level, you might not get it. You'll hear about like what happened on a latest episode of a popular TV show, but you don't get it. But I don't want to get too deep into that part of it. But it's that arrogance thing, and that's one thing a lot of men, a lot of black men especially, have complained about. You know, they've complained not that you had a degree or that they were intimidated. And I'm getting to that intimidated thing in a second, but that the large number of women, all of a sudden they get arrogant and they start talking about, well, you ain't on my level. In fact, I remember one woman, she didn't even have a degree. All she had was a decent apartment, a job making a little bit of money, talking about guys ain't on her level. And I'm just like, what level you on? You got enough competence to have a job and a place to stay. There's plenty of men who had that. Plenty of men. But a lot of women let it go to their heads. Now, why do I say they get played? It's not that they played by the system. I'm gonna hit y'all with some. I'm gonna hit y'all with some game. The easiest woman to play is that educated woman. Like you get like a hood rat or ratchet. You can't play them the same way you can an educated woman. That's why you get a lot of educated sisters. They'll have that degree, they'll have the house, car, everything. And they make very questionable relationship decisions. Now they can hide theirs better because of more money to get an abortion. And they ain't gonna be putting this shit out on video or anything. But they get burned the most. Because understand something. I'm the brother talking with. Well, I was a brother like burning them and stuff. Just to be honest with you. And in my bad old days. And just talking with other brothers like that. And it always comes down to that arrogance. It always comes down because one of the things I've always said, these women wouldn't get played if they were just more humble. But because they get that degree, they get a little bit of money, they think they have a little bit of status, all of a sudden, dudes who were good enough for them before aren't good enough for them. And all of a sudden they chasing those higher up dudes. They chasing Mr. Goodbar and the money men and all of that. But because they should be there. They think that's their level. And they also think that these men are attracted to them for those things. They think, well, I got a house, I got a car, I got this education. He should want me. And say, no, baby girl, no. Stop that mess right there. Because first of all, look, the only men who gonna get happy when you say all that to them is a bum. It's like no ifs, ands, and buts. Now I think I told a poster I wouldn't use that term, but let's just be real. If a man is interested in a woman because of her material possessions, it's only because he wants to divest her of those possessions, or he wants to use them. He needs a place to stay. He wants to drive her car. He wants to spend her money. So if you ain't dealing with a man or like a man or a stand-up man, you're dealing with a gigolo. Yeah, gigolos there. You say all that to a gigolo, shoot, their eyes gonna light up. They be like, how much money you make, babe? Oh shit. Shit. What you driving? You mind if I drive it, babe? And they get played, but if a bum is smart, he plays her. So they get played with, once again, that arrogance and stuff because they think this guy really wanted for that. But then they get played too because they put too much importance on it. When they get to a guy who really don't care about it. Look, and I've told this to women. I will tell this. I will scream it. We really, unless that dude has political aspirations where he's going to be in a public eye, he's not losing too much sleep, or he ain't going to be that concerned of what you do for a living. In the instances where he is concerned, that ain't about what you doing for a living, but that you ain't going to be some woman who's going to leech off his ass. That you got something going on. But otherwise he don't really care. Like I had a real good friend, right? Real good friend years ago. And she was an attorney. She was a very good attorney. But she could not get rid of men. But see, here's the thing. She had men lined up. She could go out with a man 2 or 3 months. And he would not know what she did for a living. And she wasn't like she was hiding it. She just didn't bring it up. They knew she had a house because they didn't really care. And even when she told them, they weren't intimidated or anything. Now, her biggest issue is, to be honest, she was real cool, but she had a bunch of men. She had a whole bunch of men at any given time. She had a bunch of men. So they weren't, and really, to be honest with you, she wasn't like some dime or anything. Very average looking, really. But what she did bring to a man was she didn't bring her home. She didn't bring her degree, and her degrees really. She didn't bring her degrees. How much money she was making. She brought one thing. She brought herself. That's it. And see, that's what men are looking for. But the women who get played, though, they so busy focused on that. All a man has to really do is act like he really cares about all that. Like he's impressed that she's driving an E-Class. That he's impressed that her house is big. Really, he ain't. Because a real man gonna want those things for himself. A real man in his nature is gonna want to provide those things to the woman he loves. So if you already got him and he's still messing with you, shit, he just wants you to back that thing up. And see, plenty of women will think, oh, I got this guy, and because of my degree and all of that. Nah, he just want, shit, he don't care about that shit. And see, another thing too, they get played is, and I alluded to this earlier, just about the whole thing of wanting the top men. But see, the thing with the top men, some of them are cool. Some of them, look, let's be real. Some of those men are cool, but some of them are just some straight players. In fact, the most I've said this on a regular radio station, over the air. I said some of the biggest players are those dudes with a lot of money, because one, they know they're going to attract women because of their money, and they use that to their advantage. And two, why would they care? Because they're going to have some level of contempt for a woman for being attracted to them just for their money. So those guys are some of the biggest players out there. And they get this woman, and the woman thinking, oh, he sees her as an equal and he's impressed by her job. He say, no. He like how your dress hangs off your ass. And the reason I even thought about this, and I even had a chapter about this in my book, A Player's Eyes. I've seen so many women, like a lot of educated women, because if you really look at this relationship thing, black relationship thing, if you look at the complaints, the message boards, social media, for the most part, Izzy is pushed by educated black women and women with aspirations of being in that same class. You really don't see, the hood chicks on social media complaining about men. Or at least not in that way. Usually complaining about too many. Usually shoot, a lot of them just chilling. Or the more down to earth chicks, may not have that degree or something. Maybe just working class. You don't see them on there like that. No, it's either is the educated ones or the ones with those aspirations. So, then the question is, all right, if it's a certain class of woman, what's up with them? How come they not meeting the men they want? They try to say it's a shortage and all of that. It's like, okay, there's a shortage of men with an official degree, but all right, well, what if they the type of person who, went through the military? You got a lot of guys out there, a lot of men out there. Shoot, they making more money because, contrary to popular belief, black men still make, as a group, still make more money than black women despite the degrees. But, too many women, they let that go to their head. See, here's the thing, and I don't want to make this too long or repetitive or anything, because it's about to get to that point. Many of these women need to just humble themselves. Just humble. If you got a degree, we can respect that. If you got a house, car, we can respect that. But it's not what is attracting a man. What's going to attract a man is like my friend who had like the men lined up, when I say literally, like literally. What she just presented, a very pleasant personality. Because like I said, she was average looking. She presented a very pleasant personality. And she was, one of the things, she was humble. She ain't never stick that in anybody's face and stuff. Because, a lot of women, they'll say that. And, like one thing, women will have, they'll have all that. They'll have the degrees and the material possessions. And then when a man don't really want to deal with them, they think he's intimidating. No, he's just not turned on. You're not giving him anything that's going to turn him on. Like I said, only gigolos are turned on by your material possessions. Gigolos and bums are turned on by your material possessions. That's not going to... When the fellas are in the barbershop telling, everybody there about the fine women that they met, they don't be like, oh, she a doctor, or, she got this big old house over there. They be like, she fine and she real cool. So, for the women, the guys know this already, but for the women listening, I respect. I'm saying this, Ron Wills, I respect your degree. I say, look, whatever your life purpose is, go ahead and do it. But understand, in dealing with a man, it's going to be about how you look and your personality. Seriously. If you got a pleasant personality, shoot, you could be, the cook at like some dive or something. We ain't gonna care. But that's the key. So if you got that, you got those things. It was like, look, just be humble about it. Like, be proud of the accomplishment, but understand it's not going to impress the men that you're like trying to get easily. That's just how it is. So anyway, that's it for today. Talk to y'all later. Peace.